Welcome to Worship Musician Training. This is training for musicians, not just for worship musicians, although the context of everything that happens on this channel, not just this series of videos, the context of all that is worship music, which is to say contemporary praise and worship music in the year of our Lord 2024, as of right now. Anyway, so this series, this is the introduction video to the series of the stuff that you need to know, which is just kind of an imperative way of saying these are the absolute basics of music that you are already using as a musician in a worship band, in a worship context. There's nothing here that you haven't been using, or that you haven't utilized in some way as a musician. Assuming you've been playing music for a while in a worship band. This series is all just about the terminology, aka the so-called music theory of worship music. Music theory is important. Music theory is really important because without it, you don't know what you're doing. Think of any random process that you might do throughout the day. Maybe if it's like just like if you have a habit of like scratching your neck or something like that, you don't have a word for that, do you? You just call it, oh, I just scratch my neck. It's just something that I do when I'm nervous or when I'm excited or when I'm bored or something like that. You don't have a word for it. Imagine if that's how music was. Well, I just have this kind of thing that I do on my instrument. I don't have any name for it. So how are you supposed to communicate what you're doing on your instrument to other musicians? And to take that example all the way, instead of just saying, "Oh, it's just this thing that I do," I don't really know how to describe it. I play these keys on the piano, or I put my fingers here on the guitar, or I sing, kind of thinking about this or visualizing this as a singer. Um, Actually, singing is a great example because singing is all about visualization. There are very few words that you can actually put to the things that your voice is doing. But you can actually tell somebody if you have the knowledge of the theory of this is what this is called. You can say, okay, yeah, we're gonna go key of C, 1 4 5 6 for the sixth chord. Go ahead and add the minor seven to that whenever you want to. Just here and there. It's a nice little flavor every once in a while. On the pre-chorus, for the one chord, we need to have that in the first inversion, so let's make sure we do that. For the five chord for this, let's actually go ahead and omit the third. Let's just have it as a pure fifth. Do you have any idea what I just said? Right? If not, this is for you, right? You need the theory to be able to understand what somebody is saying to you, because I promise all of that stuff really made a lot of sense. But if you don't know the language, if you don't know the theory, then you won't have any way of relating to it. There's one thing that I want to mention about all of this in general, and that's about the time and the commitment that this is. Needless to say, musicians spend years of their lives training. I got my degree. It took me 4 years. At the beginning of that degree, I knew very little. Now, at the end of it, and as a professional working musician, I kind of know a little bit more. The point is that I know that there's a lot that I don't know. Anyway, 4 years for the amount of knowledge that I acquired in that time. Well, it's a lot of time for relatively not a lot of knowledge. So beware. It's gonna be years of your life that you're committing to learning these concepts that are on this board right here. Life exists. There we have, friends, family, children, work, school, etc., etc., etc. Other volunteering opportunities in church as well. all the other things that you do around town, in your community, in your friend groups, etc. How do you find the time to practice? That's up to you. How do you decide what to practice? That's up to you. Do you have any time at all to practice? More or less, that's up to you. Um, just depends on how much you want to dedicate to uh, being a part of the music ministry. I'm a firm believer that the music ministry can do a whole lot more than just play 3 songs on Sunday morning every week. There's a whole lot that you can do. The only way that you can do all that whole lot of stuff is by practicing, learning, growing, all this stuff. So there's that. If you want to be a part of that, please learn, please grow, please develop yourself on your instrument, develop yourself as a musician, develop your theory. So what if you don't have time to practice? It's okay. It's not the end of the world. If you want to be a part of the worship ministry, great. Do it. Don't let anybody stop you. Please don't let me stop you. Don't let all this stuff, not knowing it or not knowing all of it, don't let any of that stop you. Just do it. And that's the topic of the 8th video of music stands. That's what we have music stands for. We have music stands, to hold the music, to hold the lyrics, and to get us through not exactly having all of the knowledge here. Of course, if you have all this knowledge, then you don't need the music stand. That's great. Everybody is at a different level. Anyway, yeah. All that to say, don't sweat it if you can't learn all this stuff. If you don't have a whole lot of time to learn this stuff, if you only have 30 minutes every month to learn some of this stuff, great. Do it at your own pace. Do what you can. But I would encourage you to try. Try to do it. And if you can't, then that's up to you to say, okay, I can't do this, and it's fine. Whatever. I'll just show up on Sunday morning. I'll show up to rehearsal. I'll sing the song, and that'll be it. That's great. And there's nothing wrong with that. Anyway. So this series is going to be a lot of fun. At least it is for me. I've already pre-recorded all these videos. I'm recording this afterwards. So yeah. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you learn. I hope you are able to grow. And I hope you have the tools to further research and study all of these concepts on your own. That's the goal for this series.